The government can take your money without convicting you of anything. Let me explain. I'm a cannabis attorney and part of my practice is asset forfeiture. Here's the part that people don't believe until it actually happens to them or someone they know. Typically in a forfeiture case, the case isn't against you as a person, it's against a thing. The cash, the car, the equipment. That's why you see case names that sound almost like they're made up, like the government versus $50,000 in US currency. Because the case is against property and not you individually, it can move forward on its own track. Depending on who did the seizing and where, property can be seized and pursued in forfeiture even if the criminal side of things doesn't go anywhere. And if you're in the cannabis industry, you need to hear this part. Cash-heavy businesses are exactly where these issues tend to show up. Even licensed legal operations move a lot of cash, and a traffic stop or an inspection can turn into a seizure really fast. So here are 3 things to understand. Not legal advice, you know the drill on that. Just an idea of how this world works. 1, doing nothing is a decision. Forfeiture has deadlines, and they are short. If you miss them, the property can be gone by default. No hearing, no argument, just gone. 2nd, the rules of the game depend entirely on who took your property. State or federal changes everything about the process, the timeline, and your options. It also means that your first question shouldn't be, how do I get my property back? It's who has my property and under what authority. 3rd, and probably most importantly, your records are your best friend in this context. Being able to show that that property is tied to a legitimate source, so in the case of money, that the money came from a legitimate source, is worth more than any argument that you'll be able to make. Keep your records and find your records for your attorney to review. And one bonus, the theme you'll hear from me every time I talk about this stuff, and it may sound like a sales pitch, but it's really not. The person who calls a lawyer the same week that this all happens almost always has more options than the person who calls, up close to the deadline or, God forbid, after the deadline ran. So if something's been seized or you're worried it could be, especially in California, reach out. Earlier is better, and I swear I'm a much better lawyer than salesman. That's not a sales pitch, just general information to be thinking about. My info's in the caption. Follow along for more because there's a lot more where this came from.